discussed before, but why are we always on the side of Israel? Is there any profit motive there, or is it simply that we feel bad for what
I think it's because of the
happened in World War II?
Judeo-Christian connection, and it was the one island of Judaism.
Interesting.
I think it was a situation where you had a country that was completely willing for its own existence, completely willing to say, okay, we can totally be a base for you in this volatile area, where it's kind of similar to Turkey, where Turkey is a great base. I mean, American bases there are extremely important, and so I think that probably has mostly to do with it. But back to the Bin Laden thing, I think that it's really turned out, it's just, it's a terrible coincidence that thing happened now, with Bush just in power, and you say, the 40% go to war or whatever, and this has just given him the opportunity, because I think there was, among the American people, beginning to grow at least some sense of what a ridiculous fraud he is, and that the whole election was, and then suddenly, boom, it's all gone.
It's not even
90% approval rating.
If Bin Laden is thinking, okay, we're going to attack, we want the downfall of this power, which is basically keeping all these people around the globe in squalor. We want to attack this power. Okay, maybe people who want to attack that power, maybe that makes sense. But to attack them in such a way that's going to evoke such an emotional response, and to
I was going to say, before, when you're talking about America being isolated, it's like, if we were, we're not now. We're united with, Europe and anybody else who wants to join the, war on terror bandwagon. And it's all a superficial kind of, uniting. And I'm sure there's still been countries that have questioned how we've treated, prisoners of war and that kind of thing. Oh, except they're unlawful combatants. So, but that really, I thought, wow, this really, and just kind of, even New York, in the Midwest, a lot of people think, oh, New York, who cares, but this is suddenly, New York is deified, or it's worship, it's a holy city now.
Right.
But Chicago is better, man.
And the thing is that maybe Americanism is spreading too. I don't know that much about, in talking, I have several European friends, and talking with them, they're always kind of, they have a conflicted relationship to America. They love so much of its culture, but at the same time, they're kind of shocked by the ignorance and the kind of right-wing sentiment that is held by a lot of people who don't benefit from right-wing policy. It kind of never makes sense to them, because in European countries, you'd have much more of a support of the people control things much more. And I'm wondering if Americanism is big business is able to, in some of these countries, now take hold in the way that it has in America, where they can start to control the media more. And so that, because I'm wondering about how many people around the globe are really, probably people are like, yeah, that's a terrible thing there, that happened. Terrible thing, and that shouldn't happen, and we should have basically a united effort to try to stop those things from happening. But
Not like the massacres in Rwanda.
yeah, well, that's what
we
I'm
don't want to
saying.
stop those.
Part of it too has to do with what an amazing video clip it makes. The massacres in Rwanda, or the killing of Kurds in Iraq, or in Turkey, or wherever, doesn't make for good film. If they could all be killed at once in one great explosion,
they're not white. So that makes a big difference. They don't look like us. so it's not as important as what happened in Serbia. Um,
Yeah.
I had to pull the race card. Sorry. Somebody's got to watch that white voice. Word. Actually, I saw that on TV. I didn't make that up myself.
Well, that was one of the NSYNC boys, right?
Yeah, it's, Simpsons. If you want to learn about this country,
Right.
watch The Simpsons. Take that
But to
back.
close, I think that what is needed is a new patriotism. And,
A new patriotism?
A new patriotism.
Neo-new
Intelligent
patriotism.
patriotism. I think that you know, I mentioned last night at my reading that Gettysburg Address. Sometimes I'll be reciting it, and it'll make me come to the verge of tears. And I think it hits on for me something about an awareness when he says the new birth of freedom, the new birth of freedom, and you know, and also when he said, you know, we cannot hallow this ground, we cannot consecrate this ground. The men who have died here have already done that. But what we can do is to become dedicated to a new birth of freedom. Is basically what it says, and new birth meaning that freedom is a constant process. And it should not be just a jingoistic thing. There's freedom or there isn't. Is there freedom in North Korea? No. Is there freedom in America? Absolutely. No. Freedom, if you're born in a ghetto in America, you're not free. And freedom has to do with, if you're born a woman in America, you're not as free as a man at this point even yet. And if we look at our history, it's been a gradual struggle for new births of freedom. We freed the slaves. We allowed, say, Chinese immigrants to ultimately, finally, be treated as full citizens. We allowed women the vote, and it's new birth of freedom in that direction. And in order to do that, you however, have to pull yourself completely away from the way in which the media pushes patriotism. It's a thoughtless patriotism which just says, I'm American, I'm great. You know, and also, patriotism too, I don't know that it can really even, I don't love any American unless that American loves other people around the globe, you know. If it's an American who's kind of bigoted and feels like they only love Americans and sort of screw everybody else, that's not somebody who I could, you know, connect with, so.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's not a love thing.
It's not a love thing. No.
God, you sicken me. You absolutely sicken me. You're filthy.
Am I filthy? Just in closing, I want to say that, you know, I really, my eyes have opened up ever since I broke my 120 average, and I started to head for the 130s as a bowler. I mean, I really felt my personality emerge in myself as a thinker. And
yeah, with you, it's always, I'll get a new ball.
It's the new patriotism ball. Maybe you get like a red, white, and blue ball, or you
It's
know.
not the ball.
it's the ball.
It's the.
Don't ever believe
It's the ball, stupid.
It's not how you throw the ball. It's the ball.
Enthusiasm is not a gift. It's a responsibility.
Okay, let's wubba.